Vulnerability isn't a weakness. In fact, it could be your greatest strength. As men, society has taught us that we need to be strong, resilient individuals, that emotions make us weak, and that succumbing to our emotions make us weak, that we are the breadwinners, that we have to go provide for our families, and that emotions are for women. That is the stereotypical view on how men should be. I find this to be very problematic, as the younger generation nowadays don't quite understand what that means. And this promotes what we call toxic masculinity. The problem is, by teaching men to hide their emotions, we are hiding what makes us human. Being vulnerable is what makes us human. If a man nowadays feels as if their emotions make them weak, what they do is they begin to bottle them up. And what happens when you bottle something up, eventually it has to come to the surface. Men, we begin to ignore telltale signs of what could be wrong. We don't tell other people because we feel like they'll judge us. But what happens is, when you break and you fall hard. I'll give you an example. Think of a car. If you're driving on the freeway with a bunch of friends and you see an engine light, a warning light pop up on your car, and you see it, it's clearly telling you there's something wrong with your car. And instead of acknowledging it, you continue to drive. Your friends don't know what's going on, only you do. But instead of telling them, you just decide, hey, I'm just going to keep going. Now, it's only a matter of time until more warning lights pop up on your car. What do? You keep ignoring those. You keep it going. And your car might be good for a day. It might be good for a week. But there will be a time that your car breaks down. And when that time comes, you're going to have to face all the repercussions. Now, if you fixed your car as soon as you saw an issue pop up, probably would have cost you maybe a couple $100. But now, because you've waited so long and you've bottled this up, by the time your car breaks down, you now have to pay thousands and thousands of dollars just to get it fixed. And you could have saved all of this if you would have just saw the warning in the first place, acknowledged that something was wrong, and you went to go fix it. Now take this analogy and shift it into our lives. If something is wrong, if we feel pain, that's the car light telling us that something is wrong. Now, instead of addressing it, if we ignore it, we will eventually break down. But if you take the warning, you acknowledge that something is wrong in your life, you pursue action to then fix it, you are saving yourself a lot of trouble in the long run. Society wants us as men to be stable and resilient individuals. But by hiding and putting our emotions inside of us, we're actually doing the opposite. You become quite unstable because nobody knows when you'll break. You're not resilient anymore. You're being stubborn. True strength comes from understanding your weaknesses, acknowledging them, and understanding that you are not a perfect individual. We, as men, need to understand that vulnerability is okay. Do not be afraid to show your emotions. Learn from them. Because at the end of the day, admitting to your wrongs and taking accountability for your actions or taking accountability for what's going on is a key step in moving forward and becoming that strong and resilient individual that society wants us to be. I'm Coach King. And if you like this content, make sure you leave a comment below and subscribe. And if you want more, make sure you follow me on Instagram. I love and appreciate every single one of you. Peace.